In this series of videos, we will provide a full summary of Professor Messer's video notes about CompTIA A plus 220-1101. A key tip for an effective preparation is to watch this series with Professor Messer's videos as a great feedback and summary. Let's start. Certification purpose, an entry-level IT certification demonstrating foundational IT skills. Exam structure. 220-1101, Core 1, covers mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, and troubleshooting. 220-1102, Core 2, focuses on operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. Study recommendations. Use exam objectives as a checklist. Engage with video training courses and supplementary books. Practice hands-on exercises for real-world applications. Resources. Free video training on the Professor Messer website. Monthly live study groups for additional support. 2. Hardware technologies and maintenance. Laptop hardware and troubleshooting. Battery management. Modular batteries are replaceable, some are non-removable. Modern laptops use lithium-ion batteries, which degrade over time. Component replacement. Keyboards, displays, and SSDs are common replacement items. SO-DIMM memory modules can be upgraded, but soldered memory cannot. Storage options. HDDs versus SSDs. SSDs are faster and more reliable. M.2 drives offer compact, high-speed storage. Wireless connectivity. Built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are standard, older models may use mini PCI cards. Authentication. Biometric methods, fingerprint, facial recognition, are common. NFC enables quick data transfer and authentication. Desktop and laptop displays. LCD types. TN, twisted pneumatic, fast but with poor viewing angles. IPS, in plane switching, excellent color accuracy. OLED, thin, lightweight, and offers superior color quality. Backlight technologies. CCFL, cold cathode fluorescent lamp, older, less efficient. LED, modern, thinner, and more energy efficient. 3. Storage devices. Hard drives, HDDs. Non-volatile storage with spinning platters. Performance depends on rotational speed, e.g., 5,400 RPM versus 15,000 RPM. Solid-state drives, SSDs. Faster, more durable, and use interfaces like SATA, mSATA, and NVMe. Flash memory. Includes USB drives, SD cards, and microSD cards. Limited write cycles make it unsuitable for archival storage. RAID configurations. RAID 0, no redundancy, high performance. RAID 1, mirroring for redundancy. RAID 5, striping with parity for fault tolerance. 4. Printers and printing technologies. Laser printers. Components. Imaging drum transfers toner to paper. Fuser assembly melts toner for permanent printing. 7-step process. Processing. Charging. Exposing. Developing. Transferring. Fusing. Cleaning. Inkjet printers. Use liquid ink and are ideal for high-resolution prints. Prone to clogged print heads and fading ink. Thermal printers use heat-sensitive paper. Commonly used for receipts, not suitable for archival purposes. Dot matrix printers. Impact printers ideal for multi-copy forms. Use tractor feed paper with perforated edges. 3D printers use FDM or SLA technologies. Applications range from prototyping to manufacturing. 5. Power supply units, PSUs, function, converts AC to DC for computer components. Voltage outputs, plus 3.3 volts, plus 5 volts, and plus 12 volts for modern hardware. Types, modular, semi-modular, and non-modular designs. Wattage calculation. Ensure the PSU meets the system's total power requirements. Allow extra capacity for future upgrades. 6. Virtualization definition. Running multiple operating systems on a single machine. Types: desktop and server virtualization. Requirements: CPUs with virtualization support, Intel VT or AMD V. Adequate memory and storage. Benefits: legacy software compatibility. Resource efficiency. Security concerns: VM escaping, where malware moves between virtual machines. 7. Troubleshooting techniques. Hardware issues post, power on self-test, diagnoses CPU, RAM, and video card issues. Beep codes indicate specific problems. BIOS errors, incorrect date/time or boot order caused by a dead CMOS battery. Overheating, clean fans and heat sinks to improve airflow. Monitor temperatures using tools like HW Monitor. No display, check cables and monitor input settings. Faulty backlights may require screen replacement. Storage issues. Symptoms: clicking noises indicate mechanical failure. Errors like drive not recognized or operating system not found. Fixes: check connections and cables. Use smart diagnostics to assess drive health. Display issues. Common problems: no signal, check video cables and monitor input. Flickering, adjust refresh rate and resolution. Dead pixels, replace the monitor. 8. Cloud computing deployment models: public, private, hybrid, and community clouds. Service models: IaaS, infrastructure as a service. PaaS, platform as a service. SaaS, software as a service. Advantages: scalability, cost efficiency, and global accessibility. 9. Change control and troubleshooting processes. Change control steps: planning, testing in a lab environment, documentation and approval, implementation with rollback plans. Troubleshooting steps: gather information, create backups, theorize potential causes, test theories systematically, document resolutions for future reference.